It was my wife's birthday, and she had decided to host the celebration at home, inviting the whole family. I didn't expect anything out of the ordinary, but during the toast, her father suddenly interrupted the moment. He raised his glass and shouted, "It's time we speak the truth. My daughter deserves a real man, not this pretender." That should have been my cue that the evening was about to take a different turn. Not the warmth of a festive occasion, but something colder, more calculated. Our living room was crowded with her family, everyone holding up their glasses like they hadn't spent the past year quietly sabotaging the life I thought we were building. I stood by the fireplace, eyes still, watching the flickering reflections on the glass. Something felt off, too many secret glances, too many stiff smiles. And then he spoke again. "My daughter deserves better than this," her father repeated. I looked over at the door and sure enough, footsteps echoed from outside. Another man walked in, carrying a bouquet and a ring, smugly grinning like he had just won a prize he didn't deserve. I could see it in her eyes, the smile she used to reserve for me. It wasn't a smile of love anymore, it was a smile of betrayal. I returned it, a smile that felt more like a mask. "Well, this is an interesting twist, father," I said, my voice steady as I shifted the weight of the secret I had been carrying. "And then, I did what I had been planning for months. But I've got a surprise for you too." Everyone turned to look at me. It was time. The room was filled with the family that had always looked down on me, and in that moment, I understood how deep their treachery ran. I had loved her completely with everything I had. The kind of love that makes you blind to the truth, the kind of love that leaves you vulnerable. But that love only lasted once, because after that, you learn what betrayal feels like. She wasn't always like this. I used to feel her fingertips trace circles on my palm as we fell asleep. I used to hear her whisper about our future, the dreams we'd build together. But her family? They had always treated me like an outsider, someone unworthy of their approval, as though I was a wandering beggar who had stumbled into a royal palace. I tried, foolishly, to fit in, to gain their respect. All the while, they were laying the groundwork for my downfall. But betrayal has a scent. And once you've experienced it, you recognize it. I first smelled it 3 months ago when her phone lit up in the middle of the night. She was asleep beside me, but her screen flashed with a name I didn't recognize. The messages were clear enough. "Miss you. Soon you won't suspect a thing." In that moment, I felt the earth shift beneath me. But I kept my expression neutral. When a knife is already in your back, pulling it out only causes more pain. Instead, you push it in deeper, letting it become a tool you can use. From that night on, I observed every little thing, every lie, every suspicious change in her schedule, every hushed conversation behind closed doors. Slowly, the pain turned into clarity. The clarity hardened into strategy. And strategy, well, that became my masterpiece. I didn't confront her. Confrontation would have been a mistake. Instead, I started collecting evidence piece by piece. I recorded conversations, saved messages, logged phone calls. I followed the trail of mistakes she and her family thought they had covered up. Hotel charges, gifts sent to an address that wasn't ours. But the real prize came later. A message from her father to the other man, a message full of instructions to manipulate the situation, push me out of the company and secure my wife's future for him. The company's shares were the real prize, not her happiness. It was my business, the one I had built from the ground up, brick by brick, while they all smiled in my face. I crafted my plan with precision. I updated my will, secured my accounts, prepared the legal documents with my lawyer, and filed everything quietly. Then I dug into the other man's past, secrets he desperately wanted to keep hidden. Debt, fraud, 2 active investigations, all buried under a charming exterior. I packed it all into a single folder. And I waited. The night had come. Back in the living room, her father stood tall, acting like he was about to crown a new king. The other man, smug as ever, moved forward, holding the ring as though my exit had already been decided. My wife reached for it, but I couldn't help the low, mocking laugh that escaped me. "Before we continue with this little charade," I said, my voice cutting through the room, "I brought something too." I placed the thick black folder on the table. The room went deathly silent. Her father frowned. "What is this?" he asked. "The truth," I replied, my tone cool. "Since you're so eager to share it, let me share mine." I opened the folder. The first page held printed copies of her messages, all highlighted. She paled. The next page showed hotel receipts, photos, dates. She staggered back as if the papers burned her. Then came the documents connecting her father to the scheme to push me out of my own company. He went pale. And last came the background report on the other man, still holding the ring. His fingers trembled as he saw his own past laid bare. Debt. Fraud. Investigations. Gasps filled the room and I savored every second of it. I looked at each of them slowly, calmly, without mercy. You wanted a public confession, I said. Well, here it is. Her father lunged at me. I stepped aside and he grabbed nothing but air. He sputtered as his empire collapsed around him. My wife started crying, but not the soft, gentle kind. These were the tears of someone whose world was crumbling. You destroyed us, she whispered through sobs. No, I said, my voice unwavering. You destroyed yourselves. I just stopped pretending. I pulled out the final document, a signed agreement transferring all the company shares beyond their reach. It had been processed, approved, and was now out of their hands. Her father nearly collapsed. And there's more, I added softly, a smile playing at the corner of my lips. You'll all be getting legal notices soon. Everything's been documented. The room was suffocating under the weight of the silence. I turned, walked to the door, and stepped outside. For the first time in months, the night air felt clean. They had taken everything from me, my trust, my peace, my marriage. So, I took the one thing that truly mattered to them. I didn't look back. People who betray you deserve only one thing, the sound of the door closing behind them. And I gave them that gift, without a shred of regret.